ready to give up. I'm feeling flat. Business is feeling heavy. I can't see the future. I don't know what's next. I've got to lift the energy here.
You're waiting for the economy to change. You're waiting for the staff member to show up better. And that's called being a victim.
I want to see a smiling face, like a friendly face.
What do you do at work that actually ticks the box of that personal value?
Welcome to the Salon Owners Collective podcast. Today in this episode, we're going to talk about how to re-energize your salon and your salon's growth when everything feels like it's against you. Yesterday, I was speaking to a salon owner who was feeling a little bit down and out, a little bit uninspired, with a team that was uninspired, not taking action, and feeling like the cost of living crisis was getting on top of them. On the back of that conversation, Joel and I and our operations manager, Susie, had this really great team meeting yesterday. And Joel really inspired me with his answer that has kind of come to this point for the topic of this podcast. So today I've invited Joel back onto the podcast. Joel, thank you for coming and joining me yet again. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, Larissa.
So let me set the scene for this conversation. Often when I speak to a new owner that I haven't met before, they often are feeling like they've lost a little bit of inspiration for their business. Things aren't going as well as they used to. Sales are down, team are leaving, they're uninspired, or they feel like they have the wrong team on board, and they really don't know what the next step is. The team feels average. They feel like they're banging their head against a wall. Sometimes they're kind of like, I'm going to talk to you, Larissa, because if I can't turn this around, I'm giving up. That feels flat. It feels heavy. And
save me, Larissa, save me.
It's a little bit like that. And then yesterday, you, me, and Susie, we had a meeting, and we always start our meetings with a bit of an icebreaker. Joel, you were in charge of icebreaker, and you said, what's one personal value? And how does this, you can probably reframe. Actually, how did you start the meeting, Joel?
I think, I'm going to rack my brain now. I think I said, so what's a personal value that you have? And just gave you like 2 seconds to write that down. And then I was like, reflecting on that, how do you get to serve that value in your professional life or professional role or professional capacity? Like, what do you do at work that actually ticks the box of that personal value?
Great. So we had a few minutes to think about it. We all shared our values. And then as Joel was sharing his, which I'll share with you in just a moment, I was like, yes, that is it. And then today, as I spoke to a new owner again today, I was like, we just need to talk about this, because this is the missing ingredient when you feel like you need to re-energize your business, but actually you're just flat and ready to give up. What's the missing ingredient? And I thought this makes a great topic for the podcast. And I think that answer is the word energy, the energy that you bring to your business. So let's start with this. Let's start this conversation, Joel, with maybe, do you feel comfortable sharing your personal value that you shared yesterday at our team meeting? And let's use that to kind of kick off. So over to you.
Okay. So just invitation to cut me off whenever. So one of my personal values is energy, and it serves me really well professionally in all areas of life. And I have this value of energy because I don't know about you, but it sort of encompasses all of those positive emotions like being motivated or inspired, feeling energized. I like to feel like that. And so I value it, and I value it above a lot of other things. Like, it's one of my highest values. And one thing I learned like a little while ago was that values drive behaviors. So, most of the day we're just in it and we're doing a whole bunch of stuff and we're not really conscious. And what's in the background or what's driving that often are our values. And our behaviors, they're responsible for so much, which I'm sure we'll get into throughout the podcast. But energy is really important to me because I like feeling energized. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think when I'm at my best and energized, I think the people around me um, are happy to be around me.
Yeah. Okay. That's perfectly said. This is exactly the reason I wanted to talk about this on the podcast because how can we expect our team to outperform, out behave, or out energize? There's probably a better word to be better than us, to come to work and to be better than us when we come feeling like I'm ready to give up, I'm feeling flat, business is feeling heavy, I can't see the future, I don't know what's next, I feel like I'm bang my head against the wall. And when we're in that mindset, it's really easy to blame that the team aren't the right people on, I don't have the right people on the bus, they're not performing well enough, the clients can't afford it, and so life is shit. And we turn up with this like energy that says, you guys just aren't doing enough and the business is failing. And so if we bring that energy to the business, I think the mistake owners make once we get into that mindset, Joel, is that they are expecting the other people, the clients, the team, to have more energy than them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Can
am
you
I wrong here?
It's like, could you please show up, really energized staff member, and produce and high perform, not just today, but every day, this week, this fortnight, this month, this year. And by the way, go home really satisfied about the culture that I've created for you here and the job and the salary that we pay you. Like, can you please do all of that? And I'm going to show up at 5 out of 10 because I'm the
Yeah.
boss.
Exactly. Because actually, I've lost faith in you. I've lost faith in the industry. I've lost faith in the business. I've lost faith in the economy. And I don't even know if I want to be here.
And it's seeping out of you. Like it is energetically available for other people to pick up on. And you've had this experience before. You've been at an industry event, you've been in a training room, you've been somewhere, maybe even the salon, might have even been a client. And a client walks in and the energy changes. No words exchanged, no communication. Just they walk in and energetic.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's you. That's you. That's us. That's us, the salon owner, walking into our team meeting. We often talk about ARIS like you're on before you're on. You know, like it's not just once we're sitting down in the meeting and Joel's kicked off the icebreaker. It's actually those 10 seconds hitting to my chair. And it's like we're on before we're on. So important.
Yeah. So that's why energy, I love that energy is one of your values before. I've never met a person whose value was energy. And, like, I was like, this is a BFO for me. This is a blinding flash of the obvious. It's like, of course, this makes sense. The energy that you bring, Joel, as a really good example that you bring to the table, that you bring to a coaching call, that you bring to a company or to a customer, like, it's no wonder that energy is your value because you're intentionally really, well, you're intentional about the energy that you bring. And so it's catching to everybody around you. So what do you reckon? Like, here's the problem that I can see that a salon owner is listening right now and they're like, that's fine. I understand that I need to bring the energy, but really I just don't have it. I don't feel it because it's shit right now. What do you reckon is a quick hack to hack the energy? Hey there again. I really just quickly wanted to jump in here and say thank you so much for joining me on this podcast episode. I do have one question for you though. Are you listening to this episode thinking, oh my God, I am so stuck on the salon treadmill, but you don't really know how to slow down and just take a breath? Well, I've got some strategies for you. The Salon Mastery program will help you develop and implement strategies into your salon that are designed to help you grow your salon, your team, and your profit. But of course, without the stress and without the overwhelm. No more 60 hours a week. Like, we're done with that. We'll give you the tools so that you can grow, you can slow down on the treadmill, and just take a moment to breathe. Maybe even you'll book a holiday. So I want to invite you to join me for a complimentary strategy call. We'll discuss your business, your role inside of your business. Let's see if I can help you grow the team, the business, and help you reach that $1 million business mark. So all you need to do is click apply now. I've left the link in the show notes of this episode. We can book a time, we can have that strategy call, tell me about your business, and let's see if I can help. All right, that's enough from me. Let's get back to the episode.
Yeah. Yeah, good, really good. Fake it till you make it. I love that. Or another one for those that have a knee jerk reaction to that is act as if, like, I don't feel motivated. Act as if. Like, it's got to start somewhere. Thought, feeling, action. Choose one, be it, feel it, or think it, you know? Because otherwise, you doom yourself to experience nothing better than what's going on in the uncontrollable outside world. You're waiting for the economy to change. You're waiting for the staff member to show up better. And that's called being a victim, you know? So if we can agree that it starts with self, choose one. Think better, feel better. That's kind of hard, but for those of you that are feeling quite emotionally intelligent, feel better or do better. Like those are your triggers. So act as if. And then the other one I might add, Larissa, is that you and me are at our best when we are living in alignment with our values. Now, it doesn't need to be energy. It could be family, it could be integrity, honesty, like getting clear about that and then behaving in alignment with your values. You're going to show up way more inspiring to your team. Like it just is. It's just going to happen. So the hack is live in alignment with your personal values and you'll show up far more inspiring, motivating, and energetic to your people in a really calm and compelling way. I don't mean energy like bouncing off the walls, distracting, like overbearing. I mean, they want to spend time with you, they want to be around you, they're interested in your motivating perspective on the future, that kind of energy.
Okay, I want to unpack that a little bit because, like, if you're feeling unaligned, flat, heavy, how do you one know what your core values are to live in alignment with? But I really liked that you picked up on, like, you don't have to be, there's not a certain way that you have to be. You don't have to be bouncing off the walls. You don't have to lift your energy to have enough energy for everybody else. Cause I know that's a trap sometimes. It's like, fuck, I've got to lift the energy here. And so we come in feeling like we're buzzing on coffee. And it's like, I've got enough energy for everybody. Why aren't you matching me? And it's like,
Do you like
okay,
my energy? Do you like my energy? I got so much
yeah,
energy.
you like my energy? I'm doing the energy, and I'm
It's
I'm
like
doing the inspiration.
you're walking down the street and it's like, excuse me, sir, sorry, and you're picking up off the ground your energy. It's like falling out of your pockets. You got so much of it. That's not what we're talking about.
Good,
It's too much.
good. So how do we find our own authentic energy? Because it's not about being a certain way, it's about finding your own self and being comfortable with that. So if values is the way to be in alignment, my question might be, is the right question, but I don't know what my values are?
Yeah, that's a good question. And 90% of your, I'm just going to go there, Riss. I'm sorry. I know it might not have been the plan, but I'm just going to go there. Like 90% of your happiness in life has got to do with your value system. Like it really is. Like the best version of you in your business is you expressing yourself through your values authentically and being the very best version of yourself. That's what your team need. That's what your clients need.
Just a better version of you. Like there's no special formula to be a certain way of a person, just be the you. So how do we find the you?
Yeah, be you fully expressed. That's if you're taking notes, be you fully expressed. Because like I've spent enough time with people that have achieved the higher level of financial success, of brand and reputation success. And you know what people are looking for when they're at the top? They just want to figure out how to express themselves fully so that they can contribute to the world, their family, community, or salon in a way that is meaningful. Like that's the top of the mountain. How do I express myself fully? The answer is value. So how do you find those? Well, that's a whole podcast, mate.
I think we should do that one. Okay, so we'll do a podcast on values at some point. I think that's a really good idea. But just very top line, if there was one thing that an owner can listen to this podcast today and go away and do, like just what's the one thing that's not too deep and hard, but just to get kick things off? What do you
Okay,
reckon?
so you need to ask yourself this question. If I was if I was my staff member, who do I want my boss to be? Like, give me some words, some character traits. Maybe, Riss, you can pretend to play the staff member. Joel, you're my boss. I want you to be.
I want to see a smiling face, like a friendly face that's approachable.
Okay, cool. So less behaviors, but more like character traity, like words that describe me, like who I am as the boss.
I know you're making me work hard.
I tell you what, the data suggests that out of like 10,000 people interviewed, what they're mostly looking for in a boss is someone that's inspiring, no pressure. Like, I know that feels heavy. I know that feels heavy. But let's just roll with that for a second. Let's just say you decide that as a boss, I want to be inspiring, or I want to be enabling, or empowering, or motivating, or supportive, or challenge. Choose your word, right?
But it's a being word, Joel. Like, it's a being word. It's not a
It's a
behavior
being
word.
word.
It's not an action word. It's a being word.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's a being word. So choose your being word, aspirational, like it's not, it should be aspirational. And then pour yourself a coffee and write down behaviorally, if I was being that, what would I then need to do? You know, like you went there before, Larissa, like when you walk in the door, it's eye contact and smile. Like, be the best at eye contact. Like, nice, light, easygoing gaze. Don't be the first one to look away. Beautiful smile. You know, like, I know it sounds really specific, but that shit means a lot. Like, when your eye contact is on and your smile is on, it releases oxytocin in the other person. Come on. We know this stuff. We're in the service industry. So we need the interactions right.
Okay, let's take a moment. Oxytocin. What the heck is that?
It's a hormone, also known as a neurotransmitter. It gets released in the brain when you see somebody that you quote unquote trust. If you don't trust them, you won't experience oxytocin. You'll experience small levels of adrenaline or cortisol that make you feel stressed out, worried, anxious, or on edge. Don't know that person, evade, move away from, etc. So oxytocin is the game. It is the game.
Okay, I love this. I want to recap some of these really important things that we've spoken about. I feel like a really good way to kind of encapsulate all of this is like, number one, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Like, if I want to turn my business around, I can't wait for everybody else to bring more energy and to do better and behave better than me. If it's to be, it's up to me. And I'm going to kind of wrap this up by going, to create more oxytocin, AKA trust between me and my team, like, that is the goal here, to find something in myself that I can walk into the room. Like, we're going super basic. Step one, just spent 20 minutes listening to this podcast, and I'm just going to do one thing differently. When I walk into my salon, I'm going to have great eye contact. I'm going to connect with my people and create trusting moments, build trust with my people, because I reckon that's enough to start to turn around that energy into a really positive environment where people want to follow the leader and be inspired by a boss.
Yes, love your summary. And just in case there's anyone out there like, I already do that, then I'm just going to go like level 2, like extra, is use their first name more often than you are and let them know that you really love working with them. Like, that's going to really increase the oxytocin.
All right, Joel, thank you for sharing your energy with me, with the world, with the salon owners of the world, so we can do better business, grow faster. And please come back on the podcast again. And I look forward to connecting with you, same time, same place, on the podcast. Ciao for now.